Welcome to Psychosocial Aspects of Sport. I think for most of you, this is your last class. So, congratulations on kind of being at the back end of everything. This is our class. We're going to be talking about the sociology of sport in about the first two-thirds and the psychology of sport in the last third. So, just a few words on kind of the significance of sports in our society. Sports are deeply embedded in our society and our culture, and people in all cultures have engaged in some kind of playful activity and human movement as part of their everyday lives and societal rituals. Some of the first organized sports in ancient Greece and Rome were to pay tribute to ancient gods and goddesses. So that's kind of one of our first examples of sports and religion, and that's one of the topics that we're going to talk about in the sociology of sport. In addition to religion, we're going to be looking at things like sport and race, sport and gender, sport and education. So you can kind of see the theme of the larger elements of our society, and how sport is intertwined with those things, how sport affects those elements of our society or are affected by those elements of society. And we're going to use a lot of theories and models to kind of explain a lot of those relationships. So we're going to look at a sociological theory, maybe a philosophical theory, and then we're going to see to what degree can we apply it in the sports world. So if you have taken a sociology class or a psychology class or even a philosophy class in the past, this one is going to be very similar in regards to looking up some of those theories and models and seeing what relates to that topic and our sports world. The first third of this class, like I just said, the first two-thirds relates to the sociology aspects of sport, and the second third, the last third, relates to sports psychology. So we're going to be looking at some issues like how does it affect you psychologically when you're injured? So the psychology of injury, or maybe a topic like motivation. So what are some different kinds of motivation, and how does motivation differ by activity type? So that's the last third of this class, are those psychology topics. The structure of this class is the kind of my usual structure. So you've had me before, and it's the 1 week at a time kind of structure, where the week starts on a Wednesday. That's when I put up new material, and anything due that week is going to be due on a Tuesday night. So it's pretty consistent throughout the syllabus. You can read the due dates and kind of see that it's my usual week-to-week structure. There are 3 larger assignments, and as usual, those are in the Assignments tab in your left menu. They're available now. You can see them. So those are the assignments that kind of are bigger than just week to week. So they're always available for you to look at and hopefully be thinking about. Other than that, the assignments do go week to week, and you'll see them when the material refreshes each Wednesday. This first week, we're going to be looking at some major theories that are used to explain sports and society. Like I said, this class is theory heavy, so we're going to get to it right off the bat and get familiar, maybe kind of reacquaint ourselves with what a theory is and what research questions are. And a little bit of it is going to be like research methods, where we examined maybe a research question, how it applied to a theory, and then how it looks in a real situation. So we're going to be looking a little bit back towards research methods. And some of the articles that we're going to be reading will be similar to some of those that you saw in research methods, because they may test or prove or disprove some of the theories that we use to govern our views on whatever topic of society and sports. So this first week, we're going to be looking at some major social theories, what a theory is. We're also going to be going over some definitions and concepts of what sport is, along with how it relates to some commonly related concepts in our society, such as play and recreation. Sometimes we interchange some of those words. For example, is the phrase play sports contradictory? In some ways, it is, and you'll kind of see how that is when we look at some of these definitions. Also this week, we are going over sport and its place in our education systems, and we typically assign a lot of educational value in having sports experiences through our schools. We're going to look at the role of athletics in colleges and universities and look at a theory called incompatibility theory that is related to the place of sports in universities. This first week, I've got a few things due already. I'm asking you to pick a topic and due date for your trend analysis assignment. And you might choose your week depending on the topic, or maybe you choose your week depending on your availability, and either one is fine. You're just going to number your preferences 1 through 6, and I'm going to do my best to match everybody's highest preference with them. So I'll post those next week. We also have some discussion questions right away this week, and these are going to ask you to do some connecting of a particular theory or model to an actual situation. So this week's discussion questions have to do with the relationship between sports and colleges. So remember that in discussion questions, I'm looking for definitions or results that are present in the reading that they refer to. And then usually for you to extrapolate that article into a situation that you do your own research on a little bit. And so, I'm asking you to research a certain situation in college sports, both sides of a particular situation related to